Hey everyone, my name's Ethan,
And I'm Heathrow.
and this is Podcast Material. This is a podcast where us two friends of 25 years are trying to find some fun things to talk about, things that make us laugh, make us think, make us feel, and we hope that you can do the same. So thanks for listening in and coming along with us.
Yeah, welcome in. On today's episode, we're going to discuss roommates. A lot of us know what it's like to have roommates, and Ethan and I definitely know we've actually been roommates together. And yeah, we're just going to toss around the idea of roommates as well as some other ideas in the podcast.
Yeah, yeah. It is funny. I feel like roommates is a thing that pretty much everybody our age and younger, I feel like probably all millennials have had roommates before.
Yeah,
Uh,
actually, sorry to interrupt you. I looked it up before the podcast, actually, and over 30% of Americans live with roommates that are not their significant other or parents.
I feel like those are two important distinctions, right?
Yes.
like,
Yes.
like you can't be like, well, my roommates went grocery shopping when really it was like your mom went grocery shopping for you. Over 30%. That feels kind of low to me. I'm surprised the bar is at 30%.
Yeah, I wonder if it's older statistics. You might be able to Google around and find different numbers.
Yeah,
But
yeah, cool. I mean, and I think roommates is funny because everyone kind of has their own feeling towards them. Like I've lived with roommates that I really loved, right? And then I've lived with roommates where I was like, how the hell did I even get into this situation?
right, totally.
And it's a funny thing living with other people, you know?
It's either like I think you can have like both ends of the spectrum usually. It's either roommate horror stories or roommate like um roommate soulmates, you know?
Sure.
Where you're just like this was the best thing ever.
Yeah,
My
yeah,
roommate's
yeah,
amazing.
yeah,
But I don't really feel like it's ever in between. I mean, maybe.
yeah. I mean, it might be just like you maybe have someone that you like really like to get along with, and then it's just like I don't know. I feel like the ideal roommate would be that, you know, like at least for me would be like a roommate that that I was cool, like hanging out with every once in a while, but then we didn't bother each other. I've had a couple of those, you know.
Yeah.
But this is fun because we've been roommates basically twice, right? Because we've talked about the Deke house, I think, in the first episode, which was to kind of call back a house that I lived in and Heath lived in with some of our friends, and we were 19 to 20, maybe like
Yeah.
19 to
Yeah.
21. I mean, that was the age range of the people that lived in the
Right.
house.
Right.
So it was very much like college roommate kind of vibe. And then we also lived together when we turned 30. So 10 years later, basically.
Yeah. Yeah. It
So
was like a decade reunion. We sort of were like, hey, we should live together again.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And that was the year that COVID started,
Right.
which
Right.
is actually
And
like
we were,
almost exactly 5 years ago.
yeah, that's the time is crazy. And we were
Yeah.
both married at that point. Or you were getting married.
No, we were already married.
Okay, nice.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. We'd been married for a year. We'd been married for a year by the time we
Okay.
moved in together.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah,
So we
yeah.
were two married couples living together.
Hmm.
Which was like a little strange at first, or I think all four of us were a little like, this isn't ideal, but it would be nice to save the money. And we love these guys. And it was great that we did because then, yeah, COVID happened. And again, I think it was either like during COVID, it was like these horror stories of like roommates, friends never talking again. Or I think like what we had was like we got to chill and like process the whole COVID thing together and play games and grocery shop together. And yeah, our COVID pod just became a little bigger.
Yeah. It's funny because I feel like that COVID, like the leading up to COVID when we lived together, and then after COVID was like having two different sets of roommates. Because like before COVID hit, we weren't
Yeah.
like sharing groceries. We like pretty much never cooked together. The only time we really hung out was like at the end of the day if we wanted to play like video games or something.
Yeah.
Like me and my wife would eat dinner at like 5, and you and yours would eat dinner at like 7:30 or 8. So it was
Yeah.
like it wasn't even like we were necessarily sharing the kitchen. Like you guys were really good at grocery shopping, and me and my wife were like really bad at it. Like so, it was like a funny like mix of this and that. And then
Right.
COVID hit, and it was kind of like, okay, we have to figure out how we're gonna like we can't go anywhere. So so we're like totally coexisting in this house right now. And it was cool. It was great. We totally
It
figured out like a system together.
it really thrust us together quickly. It was like, okay, we're in a pandemic. Interesting. Never done this before. Let's all cry. After that, I remember you looking at me when we first moved in together. You had asked me and us and everybody, like, do you all want to split groceries? And my first thought was like, no,
Yeah.
let's just not. Let's just have separate groceries. We're on a different budget or whatever the reason was. Now
For
I
the
don't even,
record, just for the
now I
record,
don't
sorry
even
to interrupt.
remember. Sure.
I remember this moment because I was so surprised at how quickly you said no. I
Yeah.
asked you and it was just like an immediate no. And I was like,
In my
oh,
mind, it made no
okay.
sense. I was like, why would we
Yeah.
do that? Why
Yeah.
would we do that at all? But it was cool. The four of us, we were able to communicate that way.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
But then I remember as the pandemic was happening, or like as it was sort of like we were realizing it was very real, you kind of looked at me directly. You were like, "Are you ready to share groceries?" I was like, "Yeah, yep." The logic now makes sense to share groceries, so
Yep.
of course.
I think we were in a grocery store. It was like
Oh.
it was we were like it was like
I
it was
remember it as we were leaving. We were all in the dining room.
okay. I thought we agreed to, and then we went to the store. We went to the store together, and it was madness because everyone was
It was
doing the same
madness.
thing, and we
Yeah.
kind of all looked at each other like, okay, so like we need a plan together. What are we gonna do? And then we left that store and went to a different store. But I remember that moment for sure that you're talking about, where it was just like we need to do something different. This is not gonna work. This is
Right.
not gonna work.
Right. We're not going to cook separately. And like we were all home, it's like our life sort of became, like our life sort of became from like living separately as roommates to just like together as roommates as like we're in this
Yeah,
COVIDness together. So
yeah. We got chore chart going.
we got a chore chart, right? We started a little garden together. We played
Yep.
hours of games. So yeah, I think COVID really affected just like how people think about roommates or just the roommates in general.
Yeah, yeah. Um, what do you? I mean, what do you think about some of the like the top roommates you've had? You don't have to talk about me, obviously. I mean, I
Dude,
know. I think I know where I stand.
Dude,
But
you're definitely the top roommate I've had. I think I can say that proudly without worrying about anybody else.
I'll take it. I'll
Oh,
take it.
actually,
Yep.
there's another roommate. Don't worry. You're great.
That's
too.
okay. That's
You're
okay.
great
It's okay.
No, I was talking
I'll
to
be
a
fine.
roommate. I was thinking about all the different roommates I've had before this episode, and it's a few actually. And I'm lucky. I've never had a roommate. I've never had a horrible roommate. I think
That's pretty
actually,
lucky. That's pretty lucky.
here's the thing. I think though, I'm realizing I've never had a horrible roommate, so I might have been the horrible roommate. I think so. There's been maybe 4 situations where I've had roommates, and none of them have ever been horrible. I don't know. I kind of feel like the numbers are against me. The odds are against me a little bit. And like I might
For
be the
sure.
horrible roommate, and I have some evidence. Oh no, I have evidence to support
Okay,
it.
you're gonna have to lay it out why you're the bad roommate. Let's hear it. Let's hear it.
Okay. So I was living with a good friend. I'm just like hanging out one day and eating, or just like eating by myself, just like a random meal. And my roommate was hanging out in the living room, and we were kind of just like minding our own business. Weren't chatting with each other. I was sort of on my phone eating. I got done eating. I went into the kitchen. I set my plate down on the counter, and I sort of like started doing something else. And I heard my roommate from the living room say, "You can put that in the dishwasher, you know." And then it also kind of clicked in my head, like I kind of do that a lot. Like I kind of finish a meal. This was one of my first roommates, to be fair, and I think he really taught me like a very valuable lesson of like put your dishes away, dumbass. Okay, because honestly, I'm someone who likes to put my dishes away later. It's one of my main flaws, I would say.
Dude, I don't think it's a flaw. I think it's just an organizational difference,
Maybe.
Like I've had
But
this
yeah, I
conversation.
kind of like to do it at once. Yeah,
Yeah,
I like
it's
to do
like-
it all at once.
When it's time to do the dishes, we can
Right.
do the dishes, right? And like,
Right?
you know,
Yes.
it's like I mean, maybe this is tangential, but it is like it's a time to do. It's like tidiers versus deep cleaners, right? Like,
Yes.
do you
yes.
tidy as you go, or like once a week do you do a big deep clean of the room or whatever it is, right? But it is fun. That call out is so funny though. Like from the other room, like you can just put that right in the dishwasher.
You know, you can put that away, right? It's like,
Yeah.
oh, you're right. Oh, and I'm so sorry that I never have. Or like, I'm so sorry that I don't right away often. Dude, I think about the dishwasher hinge, bro. You can't be opening that hinge all the time. Oh, one plate at a
Yeah.
time. Hinge, hinge, hinge. You know, anyway.
It only has so many opens, You know.
Cut that part out.
You're just concerned about the infrastructure of your dishwasher, and he clearly didn't understand.
Dude, I'm thinking about the hinges.
No, there was a missing big picture there, it feels like. You gotta think about everything. That's funny.
Yeah. Yeah. So, no, it's kind of one of my one of my early roommate situations was that. So
Yeah, I mean you and
maybe I'm the bad roommate.
well, if that's the one instance, then
Yeah.
give yourself a little slack. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's funny. I've definitely had some bad roommates, and I have definitely been the bad roommate before. Like definitely. But I feel like I've had a lot of roommates. Like I feel like you and Kate have lived together for like a long time straight, right?
Yeah.
It's been like probably over.
Dude, it's like 17 years.
Jeez.
Yeah.
And I mean, you've lived with us and you lived with those folks you talked about, but yeah. Oh my gosh.
Right.
It was a long time.
And
Yeah.
then another set of folks we lived with, some older folks, some family friends. So they were I would call them roommates. They're on like the geriatric end, right? Can I say geriatric? Is that a PC term?
Well,
I'm
you
sure
said
they
it.
would be
You did say it.
They wouldn't mind. I think I've heard them called. They refer to themselves as geriatric. If I think.
Okay, then that's chill.
And it was great. It was wonderful. We love them so much. They're wonderful people in our lives, and we had an opportunity to live with them, and it was interesting. You know, they were old people, so so we value them highly and love them so much, and they like to cook a lot. And so it was like every evening they would be like,
Which,
hey,
before you say anything else, is a great trait in a roommate. A roommate that's like trying to cook and give you that food.
that's the thing.
You know,
that's
that
the
is
thing.
like
You don't want to complain. It's lovely. It's
Yeah,
beautiful.
that-
And the meals were great. We could help or we could not. You know, we would help clean up if we ate with them.
that's a good roommate. That's a sign of being a good
We were
roommate.
trying to be a good roommate to them. They were great. They were wonderful. Everything was good, but there was pressure. It felt like of like, hey, just let us know what you're doing for dinner tonight. You know, when you and I were living together, it wasn't always like, even when we were cooking together, it wasn't like, you know, what are your plans for this evening? Are you going to be eating dinner with us? It's like, we would love to. We probably will. But I haven't thought about dinner yet. Let me think about it. And they're like, well, I'm about to cook, so tell me what you'd like. It's like, ooh.
Yep. And then it's like you're coming to dinner.
Yeah, yeah.
You're coming, dude.
And then
yeah.
you're there.
Yeah.
And then you're committed, and they love to talk. We love to talk with them, but
the
anyway.
pressure of things, the expectations of things.
Right, exactly. I think that's part of being a roommate is like, you know, setting kind of clear boundaries of no expectation to chill, no expectation to connect unless you want to.
Yep.
You know?
Yep.
You know?
Yeah. I feel like I'm definitely like a pretty codependent roommate. I feel like I can like spot that in a lot of roommates I've done. I really feel like I did it to you when we lived together in the house during the COVID times, and then like a couple of roommates in college, like for sure, where it was like, what are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? Oh, you're doing that? Okay, cool. I'm doing it too. I'm doing it too.
I can testify to that.
Yeah, for sure. Right.
You
right.
were definitely a bit like, hey, what are you up to this evening? Oh, you're doing something else. Okay. Yeah, I guess I'll just hang around. I don't know. I guess I'll just hang around here myself.
Yeah.
Might play some video games or something.
Dude, definitely. And then there were times that like you would want to go do something with like our other friends, and I didn't want to do it at all, but I also didn't want to like, I had the FOMO about it, I like didn't want to miss out on doing it, and so I would just like go and do it even though I didn't want to do it, just because I was like, oh well, like I'm just gonna sit around at home by myself.
Right.
Or I could go do this thing I'm not really excited to do, but it'll be with other people, so I guess I'll go do it.
That's an interesting thought, actually. Like, we probably hung out with our friends more together than ever. because we were involved with each other's plans, we were like, oh, you're going to do that? Like, yeah, okay.
Yeah,
I'll
totally.
come and do that too. Like, even though I don't want to.
Yeah.
I probably
Yeah.
wouldn't want to do that normally,
Oh yeah.
but my roommate's leaving. Like, all right.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, there were definitely some other people. You were not alone. You could probably like have a starting five like basketball team with the people I had some codependence on. Actually, I don't even know if codependence is the right word. I think it was just
No,
like
sure.
I latched onto, you know.
Single dependence.
Exactly. Yeah, I think it's just dependence.
Right,
You
just
know,
dependence.
they could probably claim me on their taxes, and that
I'd
would
be
be
like, hey, can
fine.
you guys come play basketball? I'm getting my roommates together. They're like,
Yeah.
they're like, all right.
Okay. Oh
Wow.
man, that is funny. Now that I'm thinking about that, I'm like, yeah, I should definitely tell some people, hey, I should let you had some more space.
Nice.
Yeah, that's pretty silly.
Well, with us, I don't think it was, it was a different time for us because it was like partially COVID while we were living together. So it was, I think it was like expected a little bit. I understood, man. I was like, okay, I understand. We're all a little on edge. We're all a little stressed. Like,
And it wasn't like we could go like hit anybody up and go hang out with them, you know.
that's true.
You know.
That's true.
Yeah, that's funny. That's funny. I as we were kind of gearing up to talk about roommates, I remembered this story from college about a roommate I had but did not know. I don't know
Interesting.
if you actually know the story, but I lived in this house with a really good friend of mine. We were tight from freshman year, and then when I moved back down, he had an extra room in his house, so I moved in, and it was a dirty, nasty old house,
Nice.
like super nasty. You were there. I think you and another friend came up for my 21st birthday, and I think that was the house that I was living in at that time. It was like a kind of nasty, dirty house, but we had this roommate. So it was my buddy and then his cousin and then this guy who we just never really saw because he like rented the room, but I think he stayed with his girlfriend or something. So we maybe saw him like once a month as he came to like get something from the house or like maybe would spend the night there once or twice. And so it's the last night of school, right? So we're hanging out, we're playing board games, me and my buddy and his cousin, we're just sitting in the dining room playing board games. It's probably like 7. And in comes this roommate. And he just like walks in. He's like, "Hey, what's up, guys?" And we're like, "Oh, hey, like, good to see you. What's going on?" He's like, "Well, I got some friends coming over." And we're like, "Okay, cool. Like, that's chill." And then 20 minutes later, full on rager in our house. Like we were sitting there just like playing a board game, just chilling, like smoking a little, like just hanging out, drinking some beers, just like really chill, laid back vibes. And then all of a sudden, like dude rolls in with a keg, and like we've got like easily 50 people in the house. We like this roommate was a stranger to us, and so all these people are strangers, just like in our house. And we were
Wow.
like, okay. So we just had like a huge end of the year party. We started calling all our friends. We had like probably easy like 75 people in our house and then in the backyard. It was just so funny. It was like that was not what we were expecting at all.
Dude, pop up Kager from the
Yeah.
from the random roommate. I
Yeah.
love
And
that.
he was like older than us. He might have been in graduate school or something
Mm, mm.
because we were all like I think I had just turned 21 and he was definitely
Nice.
older. He was definitely
Nice,
older.
dude.
So it was really funny. All of a sudden there were just like all these people in our house and a keg and like they brought this big board to put over our dining room table to play beer pong. We were like, okay, I guess we're done playing board games.
They like they like swipe the board game like off the
Yeah.
table. Get this out of the way. We're playing beer pong.
Yep. We weren't mad. We
Man.
weren't mad.
No, sure. Man, that
Yeah.
sounds like a great way. Like that sounds the best case scenario for like a stranger roommate.
Mm-hmm.
Like when you first started telling the story, I wasn't sure. Like, okay, stranger roommate, this could go a couple ways. You know,
Yeah,
if you
for
don't
sure.
really know this person. But nice,
Yeah.
nice. Pop
Yeah.
up Kager.
Think about that guy a lot. I'm like, I wonder what he was doing, and then he just came home and decided to have a. I like how. What does he tell his friends? Like, oh yeah, I've got roommates, but they don't know me, so who gives a shit, you
Right,
know?
right. I just live in this house with these kids, these guys. Like,
Right.
whatever. They're not
You
gonna
know,
care.
we were paying probably like 200, 250 for rent, so it was like a shitty house, anyways. And he was like, "We'll just go throw a rager in there."
Man.
Yeah, yeah. I was certainly not dependent on him.
Sure.
Oh man.
Man, 200 for rent. That would just be bliss.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you can't go
Mm-hmm.
anywhere for $200 now.
Nope. Dude,
Can't
we
do
didn't
anything.
even pay 200 living at the Deke house when we lived in that house.
Wow.
Yeah, I think it was like 300 something.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
My
Yeah.
goodness.
I know. Man.
Water here.
Yep. Beanie. The great Tobini. I am a Tobini.
I am a Tobini. Huzzah!
Huzzah.
Yo, this way. We're getting a little toe bean action. Some toe
Nice.
bean.
Nice, dude.
All right. Are we done talking about roommates?
I guess.
I guess.
Wait,
hang on. I got this. I got something else to add here. Should we talk about our argument over the dishwasher?
Huh? Yes, we should.
Go ahead. All right. So Ethan and I lived together for a while, and Dean.
Does that office have a door?
Yeah, but she was probably just at the door. She was just meowing.
Oh, word.
Let me give her some spankings real quick.
Nice, dude. She likes that.
That's what we got, basically.
Nice. Hell yeah. Chilling. One of the things that comes with being a roommate is, when you live by yourself or, with a significant other, you can have like specific ways of doing certain chores around the house or, certain ways that you think things should be that not necessarily everybody else has the same standards as you, right? And so you and I and our partners, our wives, all felt differently about the dishwasher, mainly me versus everybody else. Mainly me versus everybody else. And I was adamant that there was a correct way to load the dishwasher.
And I think, so we had a bit of an argument about it. I think that was like, for me, that's the only argument that sticks out in my mind from us living together.
What do you remember about this specific argument?
I just remember standing in the kitchen with you, dishes in hand, right? I felt like both of us were wielding two dishes almost.
Yeah, sure, for sure.
Like a plate and a cup.
Yeah. Yeah.
To like demonstrate the way that I load the dishwasher and why it's superior to how you do it. Wait, okay, let me back up. What I remember about the argument was I felt like you had reached your breaking point with the dishwasher. It felt like
Yes.
It started with a breaking point from you.
I had been unloading and reloading the dishwasher for a few weeks at this point.
Yes, probably the entire time we've been living together, right?
Probably.
Right?
Yeah, probably.
Some months.
There would be dishes left in the sink, and then I could rearrange the dishwasher and get those dirty dishes into the sink. But I had to take everything out in order for that to happen. And I had I could have probably politely brought this up.
So to be clear,
earlier.
For months you had been unloading and reloading the dishwasher.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And then one day you'd had enough. Essentially, you were just like, I'm done with this. Or it was just such a raw emotion. I can't even remember what you said. Basically, the point was like, bowls belong on the top rack, right?
Yeah, they do.
Right?
They do. Yeah,
And
I'll just say to any listeners, if you put bowls, regular like cereal bowls, soup bowls on the bottom rack, let's talk.
Here's what
You're
I'll
wrong.
say. I think bowls on the bottom rack have a place. I don't know, sort of after this argument that we've had together, I feel like there's no reason for me to fight your method anymore. So I just do it now. Even still, I can hear your voice in my head of just like, bowls don't belong in the bottom rack.
Big bowls, like big salad bowls or big like cooking bowls, definitely bottom rack.
Sure. Cereal bowls though.
Yeah, top rack.
Gotcha. We're good.
Yeah. No, I'm not.
To be clear, I still do it. Like I still do it. I'll show you right now.
You know what's really funny about this is that when we moved into this house, we got a new dishwasher, and it came with a manual that shows you how to load the dishwasher, and it is how I load the dishwasher.
Okay.
I felt
can't
very
even-
validated.
For sure. And maybe I did. Maybe I did load bowls on the bottom rack until that point, you know? And you were moving them up,
I was moving them up.
moving all the bowls from the bottom rack.
Man, it's so funny. I think the thing I was really looking for was just a little bit of effort, you know, just like a little bit of intention.
Yeah.
I felt like things were just getting kind of like thrown in haphazardly. And it was like the biggest thing was like there's dishes in the sink. Like if you just take a little time, look at this like a little bit of a puzzle and just like get it all, make it all fit, you know. But I also want to be clear that it was not just you.
I was gonna say we were relying on you to do that, dude. We were
Right.
like, great, Ethan will figure out this
Ethan will do
puzzle.
this.
I don't know, just put it in. That's hilarious.
Yeah. And this conversation is or like this sticking point is really a very common thing. It's like a very common
the
argument
dishwasher.
that roommates in general or people that live together have. My in-laws were just talking about it. I was like over at brunch the other day and started to load the dishwasher for my in-laws.
Ooh.
And I started putting stuff in, and my mother-in-law was like, don't do that because your father-in-law will just redo it anyways. And I was like, oh, okay. And in my head, I was like, is it because you don't put the effort in to load this correctly? Or is he just really picky about it, you know? And I think it's probably both. But then I have other friends that talk about this all the time and have gotten into big arguments in front of all of us about how they load the dishwasher and how one doesn't do it right. They put these in their vows at their wedding that they will always try their best to load the dishwashers.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. This is we actually need to retitle this podcast to dishwashing.
I think that's valid.
Dishwashers.
I think that's valid.
Because I have more questions now. Like,
Yeah.
are you a rinser? Are you rinsing your dishes before you put them in the dishwasher?
It depends. It depends on how soon I'm going to be running the dishwasher. So, for instance,
Okay,
if
I got
I'm
a
going to
scenario.
get chunks
I got a
off.
scenario.
Okay.
I got a scenario
okay.
for you.
Hit me with your scenario.
You just had scrambled eggs and toast on a plate,
Yeah.
and it's the first thing you're putting in the dishwasher. And your plate is, you ate it all, and there's some toast crumbs and like some egg yolk bits, right?
Yeah,
Nothing
yeah.
that would fall off.
Sure. Did you say what type of eggs? Are they scrambled eggs? Are they?
Yeah, they were scrambled eggs
Okay, yeah.
with
I'll
probably
probably
some
just like
cheddar cheese.
scrape anything. I don't think I necessarily use water. I might use like
Okay, yeah.
the scratchy part of the sponge to kind of like wipe some stuff off, and then it'll go just into the sink or into the compost.
You're going dry, scratchy side of the sponge.
Well, maybe
I just want to I'm just okay.
Yeah, because actually, I did learn this. I did learn this thing
And the
that.
scratchy side of your sponge has yolk and crumbs in it.
Well, yeah, but I mean, it's gonna have stuff in it anyways.
You're gonna leave your sponge with yolk and crumbs
I guess
on
so.
the side of the sink. No way.
I guess so.
No
I guess
way,
so.
dude.
I mean, I'm
No
probably
way,
gonna
no way,
use
no
that
way,
sponge
no
in
way.
a second anyways. The sponge gets washed all the time.
That's true. It does.
Like if you have dirty hands and you use your soap, you don't need to like wash the soap afterwards.
Well, yeah,
I guess that's not the same.
but I'm just
at all.
imagining
That's
you
not the
taking a
same.
dry plate and scraping it with the sponge, and then just setting the sponge down, and then putting the plate in the dishwasher. No water involved.
Well,
Hang on, this is getting too complicated. I'm sorry.
I think if it's yolk, like runny yolk, then I would use some water to like sponge it off.
Okay.
If I'm not running the dishwasher for a while.
Gotcha.
But I learned this recently that there's enzymes in your dishwasher detergent that are activated when there's more stuff to clean off of them.
Okay, I
Right.
think I heard that too.
Yeah, so if you run your dishwasher, if you full pre-rinse, then you're doing your dishwasher a disservice, and your dishes might actually still be alone.
Exactly. We
So a
don't want to
scrape-
do the dishwasher
scrape's good, you know?
disservice.
Yeah.
Yeah. The enzymes, right? Because the enzymes
Yeah.
was like, dang, I got nothing to cling to. I'm gone.
Exactly.
I didn't take anything with me.
Nope. You got to give them work to
Okay.
do.
Okay, I think we're on this. I know that we're on the same page. Actually,
Yeah, yeah.
we've.
And dude, at the end of the day, we're just
You
all
basically
after the
taught
same
me how to
thing.
use the dishwasher, dude.
I'm just one person at a time. One person at a time,
Seriously, if somebody asked me who taught you how to load the dishwasher, Ethan,
Dude,
my great bud, Ethan.
I'm proud to wear that pin.
Great bud.
Yeah.
My dishwasher mentor.
That's me. Dude, one of the grossest things you can do is clean your dishwasher out. I don't know
Oof.
how often you change the,
Yeah. The like the food catch,
hmm
the filter,
Yeah,
if you
oh,
will.
that shit gets
Yeah.
nasty.
Some people don't know it exists.
Yeah, I didn't for a long time. I was like, why
Yeah,
does my
that would be
dishwasher
really
smell so
nasty.
bad?
Yeah. The other reason your dishwasher could smell bad is if the drain is improper. Your drain needs to have a trap in it, a P trap.
Sure.
Um, P traps are super interesting, actually.
Is that the little like the little U in it
Yeah,
in the pipes? Yeah.
yeah, the little U in the pipes, exactly. Google P traps and how they work. Oh God, I don't want to. I don't think I can explain it that well because it's kind of still magic to me a little bit.
Sure.
But
Ooh. I you said this a couple times, not necessarily on the podcast, but to me about like the magic of a house.
yeah,
Of a house.
dude, right? The magic of just like home science, just like when you look at the house, you're just like, geez, like how does this shit even work? You know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's so much functionality hidden in your house
You have no
that,
idea.
I know you've had to do and create and build all, pretty much all of it.
Yeah. For every aspect of home building, I'm pretty much have touched,
Yeah.
and yeah, it's even still, it's magic.
Yeah. I just like that term, like magic. The P trap is magic, dude. It's magic.
Anyway,
But I just want just to say, I think we're after the same goal. Like you said, we agree on how to load the dishwasher, and everybody just wants their dishes to be clean.
that's true. That's
Everybody
true.
just wants their dishes to be clean. I've met people that use their dishwasher as storage, and I'm like, cool, that's fine, but just don't complain about hand washing your dishes.
hmm
You know,
I've met people that think hand washing their dishes is more efficient, or I've heard people say, "Oh, I don't use my dishwasher because I don't want to be inefficient, or I want to save, want to save the electricity or save the water." But really, the dishwasher is more efficient than hand washing, unless
unless you do like the fill your sink method.
unless you do the
Dude,
unless you
but
do the fill your sink method.
that feels so like gross to me though.
That feels so gross.
Because then all your dishes are sitting in that nasty water, and then
You might as well be doing them outside,
in like a
like
bucket.
in buckets. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's what I mean.
yeah. Which I know some people around the world have to do,
That's true.
but that's what
I
they have,
sounded
and
so
I'm sure.
privileged then. Oh my God, my privilege.
But I think that if those people had dishwashers, they would want to use them.
They would be quite efficient for their
Right.
time and the water,
And the water, yeah,
potentially. How much water does the average dishwasher use?
that's a good question.
Recycle.
Also, did you ever go to a department store as a kid and they had one of those see-through dishwashers, so you could like
Yes,
see
dude.
how it worked on the inside?
Yes.
Oh man, I would stand there for like at least 10 minutes while my mom walked around doing other things.
Man,
And I would
and
just
that
watch that fountain, just the water. It was
oh,
magic.
for sure. Just
It was
man.
magic. It was like being on the Las Vegas Strip watching the fountain. I was like, this is incredible.
Dude, I think also in that same vein is like people putting like cameras in the dishwasher when they run a load, or like in the microwave or something, or the oven. However people do that, I have no idea. But man, I would love just to be like inside of an appliance while it's running. What's that like?
Mm.
Let's see here. On average, the standard dishwasher uses 3 to 5 gallons per cycle.
That's not that much.
Yeah, well, I was thinking that's kind of a lot.
Well, your toilet has 5 gallons in it.
No.
Isn't it a 5-gallon flush?
How much water does the
Or
average
no, it's probably a gallon. It's probably a
toilet
single
use?
gallon.
I should know this.
It's definitely not. It's
Yeah,
definitely not 5
1.6 gallons per flush.
Okay.
In the 80s, it used to be 5 gallons
Yeah,
per flush,
okay.
dude. Wow.
That's insane.
So I like to think about like a 5-gallon bucket.
Mm-hmm.
So 3 to 5 gallons to wash your dishes. Yeah, that would probably be the same as if
Yeah.
you were to like do like camp dishes.
Yeah.
3 to 5 gallons,
Yeah, probably.
right?
For rinsing and soaping. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And your faucet, I believe, has a flow rate of about 5 gallons per minute.
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
wow.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
So I didn't realize it was that inefficient to hand wash your dishes. I knew you were using more water.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Let me make sure here. I'm finding here 2 gallons per minute, but let's see if that's
But
right.
even still, I feel like like if you're hand washing your dishes, the sink is on for more than
Then 1
5
minute.
minutes even. If
Yeah,
you're washing a
1 or
whole
2.
day's worth of dishes, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's much more efficient to use the dishwasher. I guess okay, an inefficient faucet is 5 gallons per minute. And that to me is actually just like the reason I think of 5 gallons per minute is because if a pipe in your home bursts, the flow rate in a typical home is about 5 gallons per minute. So every minute your pipe is burst,
Yep.
that's 5 gallons, 5 gallons,
Jeez.
5 gallons, 5 gallons. So you can imagine a couple hours or just like right overnight in your basement is just like, yes,
Oh
it
God.
can become a swimming pool pretty quick.
Yeah. Damn.
Yeah.
Damn, that's a lot of water.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Wow.
if you've got a dishwasher, use it.
Right.
And if you're going to use it correctly. Load it correctly. Scrape your food correctly.
Are
please.
you willing to create a manual or a guide that we can provide listeners on how to load their dishwasher?
I think I can probably find a diagram online.
Okay.
Yeah, I can probably
Okay.
find even the manual and just show.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
We
yeah,
might.
yeah.
We're gonna try to add that if we can.
Okay.
Ethan's gonna share his method of loading dishwasher, which sounds like it's just the manufacturer's recommendation.
Yeah. You want some dishwashers have like the utensil shelf or like the utensil drawer where you like put all your utensils and it's like up top. I've
Right.
never had one of those, but
Right.
they seem
Fancy.
nice.
It's really nice. Yeah.
But I tend to go, bowls and utensils up top, like cooking utensils up top.
I think we need to. I don't
Cups.
think we need to.
We don't need to do this. Anyways, point is, I want you to maximize your dishwasher capacity, and just try. Just try. Put some effort into it.
All right. Quick question for you.
Okay.
You have an Apple TV in your house.
Yeah.
You have a partner, a wife in your house.
I have a wife in my house. Might not be mine.
So you have those 2 things. You have a wife in your house. You have an Apple TV in your house.
Yeah.
When your wife is using the Apple TV and they're going to like type something into the search bar on the Apple TV, right, from the remote, and they're like watching TV and typing something into the search bar, do you get this notification on your phone that says, it's like an Apple TV notification that says, type something into the search bar? Like you can use your iPhone to then type into the Apple TV.
I haven't ever gotten that notification. I've used that feature before when
Okay.
I'm trying to do it, but I've never gotten that notification to then put something in.
Okay, so like I get this notification when Kate goes to like watch something or type something in. And one of my favorite things to do is to like jump in.
Yeah.
I just jump in and I type poop.
Nice.
I should change it up. I should change it to I love you.
I
But
think poop is fine.
well, here's the thing, it's fast.
Right. It's 2 letters.
It's 2 letters. I got 2 thumbs, P-O-P, We all know that, P-O-P.
Right. It's real quick.
Anyway, side tangent. That was my silly question for today.
Have you ever prank typed poop into the Apple TV?
Have you ever?
Okay, I was wondering about this the other day. So, like I don't really know how to frame this question straight up, but it hit me that is it unethical or like a little immoral to make a chicken omelet? And so the reason, taking an egg out of a chicken and putting the chicken back into the egg feels like a little messed up to me, And so I was thinking about that. But then I was like, we cook steak in butter.
Yeah, right.
Which is like the same thing.
Right.
And is that okay?
I just don't think I don't know. I think there's right. Is it ethical or is it moral? This is a good question. is it moral to kill animals and eat them in certain ways?
Sure. Sure.
I was thinking about this. I can't even kill a squirrel in my backyard. I was thinking, I'm like, my backyard's overrun by squirrels. I'm planting this huge garden, and they're a true menace. They dig up anything, and they're like, they're menaces, dude. They just break shit to break it. They're like, oh yeah, there's a Brussels sprout. Let's tear that shit down. Not even eat it. Just throw it on the fucking whatever. And I just can't even kill a squirrel.
Like, because you're not allowed to, right?
Well, I Googled it a bit, and I believe legally, no, you're not allowed to. But it's pretty gray. I was contemplating shooting them with, like a BB. I bought a BB gun, and I was all geared up to shoot some squirrels. But I realized, I was like, even though it might be slightly illegal, I don't think I can just pile up dead squirrels.
No. And you don't really want to.
But I just go about my day just eating piles of chickens and cows and pigs.
Sure.
Oh,
sure.
So I don't know, taking this a little further than you might have intended. The answer to me is probably yes. Like the fact that we already eat these animals, so sure, combine them in whatever way.
With itself, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fine.
It's fine.
Because we already do it. We already
chopped its head off.
Right.
Like what I don't know. Like, would you mind if somebody chopped your head off and was going to plan to eat you and then like, I don't know.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm good.
Yeah.
Cool. I feel like we're doing great.
I think that we're doing pretty good. Okay, here's a question for you. How many people's location do you have on your phone? Like how many folks can you see right now?
Let me double check. So I know I got Kate. I got my wifey on location. I got my grandma on location.
Okay.
And then I have a few select friends.
Hold on. That is awesome.
Yeah.
Like you having your grandma, just because I feel like your grandma.
I got two grandmas on location.
Got two grandmas on location. Dude, that way you can be like, Grandma has not left the house yet. Grandma. Oh, she's on the move. Gotta go. Yo,
Grandma, where you at?
Dude, okay. Having the location of your grandma is clutch.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And they have my location too. I showed them how to use it once. They were like, yeah, here's how you do location. They're like, oh, wow, neat. That's you? Yep. So I got the grandmas. I got the wifey. I got you.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
We've had each other for a while.
Yeah. And it's for kind of a accountability, I feel like. We use it for accountability.
To keep us honest.
Yeah.
To keep me honest. What are we doing here?
Okay, who else do you have?
And then I have a few other friends. A couple other buddies. Although one of my buddies, I think, sneakily removed it without saying anything because it's always not available.
Oh, yep.
So there's a question mark there.
You've been cut out.
Who else? One of my friends, I still have their location from a vacation that we went on, and they never turned it off.
Nice.
So I got them.
Nice.
But I don't know, I probably have 6 or 7.
Word. I think I probably got about the same. It's such a weird thing.
Yeah.
It's so weird.
It is kind of weird.
Do you share a location with your mom?
I was sharing location with my parents, but I think we had a good realization of like we probably just shouldn't.
Probably that's good.
That's
good.
Yeah. There's a couple situations where my dad was like, "Hey, what are you doing at this place?"
Mm-hmm.
And I was like,
"Yep, you're not gonna find out, Dad."
I'm grown.
Mm-hmm. Man, I can see that being a problem for you on both ends.
Well, I feel like, to give myself credit,
yeah,
I handled it pretty well, and I was clear. I was like, hey, whoa. That's not really the reason I gave you my location, is to like see what I'm doing.
Right.
I mean, of course, sometimes I see what you're doing, see what you're up to, but I'm never like, hey, what are you doing at this? What are you doing at Target, bro?
Right. Oh, you're back at Wendy's for the 7th time.
Right. Are you sure you need to go to Wendy's?
Yeah.
Whole Foods is just down the street.
It's just there.
It's just there.
It's just right there.
Imagine all you could buy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man, I'm really glad my mom has an Android.
Oh, nice,
You
nice.
know,
No,
yeah, yeah.
no option there.
But I think mine is pretty similar to you. I think I've got you and Kate, and then my wife. Actually, I don't know if I have Kate.
Oh yeah, you should have Kate.
I might. I
Yeah.
might. And then I've got or one of our other friends. And then I don't ever remember sharing my location with my sister, but we share location too. Which is funny because she lives on the East Coast, so it's not like I really need to know exactly where she is, you know. But it's just an interesting thing, like why we share location. Like I feel like sharing location with like your significant other is important, mostly just so that you can kind of like feel like if something happens you can go find them or they're
Right.
safe, like know that they're safe. I'm not like tracking anybody because I think they're like up to anything sketch. That's like a level of trust we're far beyond, but it is mostly I feel like for safety, and then also to be like cool, like you said you were going to be here 20 minutes ago and you're clearly still like like sitting in the house. Most not for you, I feel like me and my wife do that ourselves. I've done it to you maybe once or twice when you're like, I'm leaving, like I'll be there in 5 minutes, and you're still definitely at your house.
It's usually not that egregious, but
No,
yeah.
no, 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 no. That's
Yeah.
exaggeration for sure. But
Yeah, I agree. It's usually for like emergency or if something happened or like if their phone is lost, to be honest.
mhm.
You know?
Yeah,
Oh, I
sure.
left my phone somewhere. Okay, let's see where it's at.
Yep.
Dude, I don't have a silly question.
So much hype, dude. So much hype. There was so much hype last night. You're like, we were talking about this. You're like, oh, all right, all right, all right, all right. I got one.
Hang on, hang on.
Could be like a good like would you rather?
Yeah, I'm thinking about that. I saw something with the backyard boys,
basement yard.
basement dudes.
Yeah.
I don't want to copy them though. I think it's a straight copy. They copied somebody else though, and they were like, "We're straight up copying this." But
Dude, their dynamic is so different.
yes,
They're constantly arguing.
I was thinking, should we be crazier?
You want to be more brazen?
Right. Let's see.
Okay. Are you just like Googling goofy questions? Tight.
Dude, okay, here's the thing.
Lay it on me, bro.
Here's the thing with these silly questions, dude. You are the master at silly questions. You no, I swear. You have this experience. You have 20 years experience in silly questions, and my experience of silly questions is limited, and I'm feeling intimidated. It's not that I won't bring a silly question. It's not that I haven't put time into silly questions. It's just that I know that your silly question standard is the highest available. So,
I've answered them all, I have an answer for all of them.
that's what I'm saying.
I have an answer for all of them.
Every time we go into these silly questions, you're like, now I've answered this before. or I have a few answers for this one, right? So and I'm not, I really appreciate it. It's been sick. It's like I feel like it's like a cornerstone foundational aspect of our podcast, the silly questions that you bring or the silly questions that we entertain.
It's like a badge I've earned.
I think so.
Wow.
Well, just your experience alone,
Sure. Wow.
Your experience precedes you. Is that a saying?
I think it's your reputation.
Your reputation or whatever.
Yeah. That means like I walk in the room and everybody knows I'm the master of silly questions.
Exactly. So, give me a second here and I'll get a question.
All right. Okay. Don't, I'm not judging the question. I'm not here to judge. Do you feel judgment coming from me around your silly question?
Even right now.
Right now?
Well, I deserve to be judged at this moment.
I mean, this is
it
silly.
is on my to-do
This
list.
is silly,
It is
yeah.
on my to-do list.
Yeah. You volunteered. You volunteered to find
Let's
the silly
see here.
question.
Let's see here. I did. Okay, hang on. Icebreaker questions for adults.
Okay, I have one that we can do while you're looking.
Save it, dude.
Okay, okay. I'm gonna write it down. I'm gonna write it down in my personal podcast note, so it's not shared. You can't see it.
Ooh,
Man,
dude, the five finger liquid question was very good.
I know. I felt like maybe I shouldn't have busted that out in the first
That was
episode.
so good. Like, where are we gonna go from there?
I know.
Like,
I know.
five. Choose five gases from your toes. There we go. That's my question, dude.
Five gases from your
You get to
toes.
choose five gases
Oh, jeez.
from your five toes. What gases do you choose?
Okay, so we're talking like vapors,
Noble gases.
noble gases. So like water vapor, not a gas.
Well, let's see. What defines a gas? No, I think water vapor is a gas.
Okay.
Steam, vapor, a gas.
I don't know. I don't know enough about gases.
I know for sure. For me, helium is from the big toe.
Helium.
Because-
Okay.
Get those balloon animals going.
Yeah.
So, sorry.
Dude, nobody's sucking on your toe to get like a high pitched voice.
Yes, vapors. Yes, vapors considered a gas, dude.
Okay. Okay. So helium out of one toe. I think straight up steam. You can like iron your clothes. You can press your clothes.
Steam. Yeah.
You know? The only problem with this though, is that like
Yeah.
I can't like point my toes the way I can like point my fingers, you know? So like if I'm gonna go and try to like give one of these vapors, they're likely all coming out at the same time. Right?
It's a decent point, right?
Because
That
like if you're gonna do a
that
liquid out
ring
of your
toe-
finger, it's like boom, boom, boom. Just
Yeah.
point a finger and it comes out. But with my toes,
right?
you're just gonna get all these gases at the same time, except maybe the big toe.
Right. It would require your hands essentially to like to manipulate the toe,
Right.
to point the toe where you want it to go. Because yeah, like my ring toe, the dexterity of my ring toe is like 0. Right. I'm
Right.
not like pointing my ring toe somewhere.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, let's back it off.
Okay.
Let's find a different question. Or like, I don't know. That was just random. That was random.
It's pretty silly.
Okay. Okay.
Do you? Well, sorry. Were you gonna ask a question? Do you remember what songs your parents sang you to sleep?
I think I remember like the classic ones, like maybe like Twinkle Twinkle. But as a kid, trying to remember, I don't think I remember anything specifically. Twinkle Twinkle, Little Star, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. ABCs.
How I Wonder What You Are. That song, you know?
I think I know that one.
Twinkle Twinkle Little Star, How I Wonder What You Are.
Up above the moon so high,
Up above the moon so high?
or up above the world so high.
Probably.
Up above the world so high. Yeah, there it is. World so high, like a diamond in the sky. And then the title track again, you know.
The title track, right? What nursery rhymes did your parents sing to you?
I don't think they sang me nursery rhymes, but my mom definitely sang me "You Are My Sunshine" a lot.
Yep.
And I kind of forgotten about it until a couple weeks ago. I started singing it to
Nice.
my kid, and he really likes it.
That's a good one.
That's
That's a
nice.
good one.
It's also a song they sing at Timbers games, the Portland Major League Soccer team. They sing that at the end, like near the end of their matches. Like the whole stadium sings it. So it's kind of funny. It's like got a little bit of a different vibe when they sing it than when I would sing, you know. But they sing it over and over again. It's faster and faster.
A little more energy.
Yeah, you know, like and you're jumping up and down singing this like children's song. But it's cool to then sing it to him for bedtime. It's been fun.
Nice.
Yeah. And then, you know, the loads of camp songs we know, which is crazy because I spent so long singing camp songs to other people's kids to put them to sleep. You know, like as a camp counselor and as an outdoor school staff member, you sing these outdoor school or these camp songs like over and over again to put other people's kids to sleep. And then when I first was singing them to my kid as a baby, it like brought tears to my eyes. I was like, this is wild. Like, this is insane, you know? Like I've probably like put hundreds of kids to sleep singing this song, and now like my kid is falling asleep to me singing it.
Even
It's
preparing
wild.
your whole life for this.
Yeah, yeah. It's the same as the silly questions. It's the same. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Speaking of silly questions,
Nice. Yes.
I'm actually still choosing. Hang on a second.
Tight.
Okay, this question is certainly not the caliber of question that you would bring.
Stop that. Stop that.
True though. Okay, if you had to eat one meal for the rest of your life, this is the question. What meal would that be?
Man.
And
So, well,
yeah,
question to the question.
sure.
When you say like a meal, do you mean like one dish or like one few? Like because like for instance, Thanksgiving is like traditional American Thanksgiving meal is like multiple dishes that you would eat at the same time, right? And that would be like a meal. Whereas like I could eat like carnitas burritos or like carne asada burritos, but that's not necessarily like a meal.
Yeah, so no, I think that's a valid question. I think I stand by meal. So just like a complete meal, you can expand on it a little bit. Um, and maybe that is a burrito. I think a burrito can be a meal, but it's really up to you. So yeah, if you want to make it like a full plate of whatever you want, but the only trick is you just have to eat that forever, over and over.
What about like
and you
are
have to
we
choose.
considering like health effects or like I can just eat it forever and it's okay?
Well, I mean, I think the health effects of eating the same thing every single day over and over, like mentally, that probably wouldn't be good for you.
Okay, so like
For
the
anybody?
mental side of stuff.
Yeah. So like the mental
Sure.
side of stuff, ignore because it's hypothetical.
Well, no, I think the way I'm thinking about it is like the mental side matters because I have to want to eat it every day.
I guess
You
that's
know,
true.
it has to be something I'm
Mentally,
not
you'd be wrecked
tired
no
of.
matter what. Okay.
Whereas like it wouldn't affect my body if I'm just like eating French fries every day and that's all I'm eating. You know.
I think it would affect your body.
Okay, so the answer is has like a physical health effect on my body.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Maybe included in the deal is that like you have to choose one meal for the rest of your life, but you also get free healthcare. so like don't weigh it too heavily. Like if
Okay.
if you want your fries in there,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
You will have to pay the consequences eventually. So
I
to clarify,
Yeah.
you're choosing one meal for the rest of your life. The meal is like a plate of food, whatever you can fit on a dinner plate, let's say,
Okay.
with a small side of bread or something, whatever.
Sure. So like
The meal.
sure. On like maybe an appetizer, an entree,
Yeah.
and a dessert if you want one, or something to finish it to round it out.
Oh, okay, nice. He's just sneaking in the dessert. I like it.
Well, because
Cool.
I think
Yeah.
of a meal as like
Yeah,
a
yeah.
whole, like you go
Yeah.
out to dinner for a meal,
Sure.
You get
Yeah, exactly.
your appetizer, you get your entree,
Exactly.
maybe a couple sides.
Exactly. And the health effects aren't heavily weighed because you get free health care and
Monthly checkups.
monthly checkups. So that's part of the deal.
But what if the
Yeah.
doctor says like, "Hey, stop eating. You have to stop eating beef."
Well, they'll just treat you. They'll just give you whatever you need.
Okay,
They'll
and
be
then
like,
it'll be fine.
okay,
Okay.
well, you won't be fine. Well, I don't know. I guess you could eat less.
Okay. Okay. Sure.
You could be like, well, I'm done with this plate. Oh God.
Oh man, this is hard. I'm torn. I'm torn here. So my first thought is to go for like a big bowl of pho. Big bowl of pho
Okay.
with all the cuts that I would normally get in like like the main Super Bowl. You go to your
In the
regular
Super
pho
Bowl.
restaurant, you get
Okay.
all the cuts, right? The meatballs, the flank, the brisket, the tripe, everything.
Cool.
That way I can eat different things on different days. Like I could eat
Nice.
the meatballs one day if I'm tired of the other thing, right?
Nice.
And I'd pair that with like either a Vietnamese iced coffee with a condensed milk, or like a Thai iced tea. But I have to choose.
You have to choose, right? This is your meal. So your main here is a pho with mixed meats, multi meats, which is a great call. Great call. Pho with everything, beef broth.
Yep. which I had for lunch today.
Ooh, nice. Spoiler.
And then
Okay, so your drink, what are you choosing?
I
Thai
think
iced
I'm gonna
tea,
go. Vietnamese iced coffee with condensed
Vietnamese
milk.
iced coffee.
Yeah,
Well done.
yeah.
Well done.
I think I like
Delicious,
Thai iced tea
delicious.
more, but I think I'm gonna go with the Vietnamese iced coffee to kind of pair this together. And then I think like a salad roll or like a some kind of the roll with like a piece of shrimp, a piece of shrimp.
Okay, so the fresh rolls, like the salad roll.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
with like the lettuce and the bean sprouts and the cucumber in there.
Nice. Nice.
Yeah, peanut sauce to dip that in for sure.
So your appetizer is Vietnamese also. So you're going just
Yeah,
purely.
I was kind of thinking like a meal that went together.
Sure.
That's kind of how I was picturing it.
That's a
you
good
know?
point. Okay.
You
Okay.
know, I mean, I could do like a bowl of pho and then
No,
like
no, no.
JoJo's, you know,
No.
and then like Vietnamese do really good like baked goods too. So I'd probably do some kind of like Vietnamese croissant or like some kind of little cake that they do. Probably like a little Vietnamese cake. They make these little tiny cakes. They're really good.
Nice.
Yeah. Yeah.
That sounds good. Ooh, I'm hungry for that.
I know, dude. That bowl of pho I had today was really good.
Ooh.
Yeah. Yeah. What would you do?
Thinking about it, I think, man, I'm kind of a simple person. I had this amazing breakfast when I went last time I traveled to Greece. And it was something so simple. It was like a piece of homemade toast sliced into triangles,
Nice.
2 hard-boiled eggs sliced in half, open face on the plate, some fresh homegrown cucumber spears, tomato spears, chunks of feta cheese, all drizzled with olive oil. Oh man, an orange juice on the side.
Okay. Pulp? No pulp?
I'll go medium pulp.
Okay.
You know.
Gross, but okay.
Whoa, really, really? You're a no pulp guy. You're a water. Why not get a water and put an orange slice on it? Just sniff the orange. Just give it a sniff.
Medium pulp is definitely better than full pulp. That's for sure.
Yeah, I mean full pulp. Actually, you know what? No, after this discussion, I think I'm upgrading to full pulp because then I could have the option for
Out of
full
spite.
pulp when I want, and then I could spoon some pulp away if I needed to make it medium pulp. You know, you can always take pulp away, but you can't add pulp.
True.
So I'll go heavy
Right,
pulp.
sorry for the interrupt.
No worries. Heavy pulp orange juice. Big glass of heavy pulp orange juice. Man, that Greek breakfast is just so good. That homemade toast, a little bit of butter, you know, hard boiled eggs, just probably like an 11-minute egg. Let's see.
Okay.
And then
So that's kind of like that is like a hard boil. That's like a hard.
yeah, it's a hard boil.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a hard boil for sure. Sliced in half, open, salted and peppered. Man, seems just to me it's just like the perfect meal because it's like pretty light, fresh. The eggs got the protein. Love some toast. Okay, I'm also
real
gonna
simple.
I'm also gonna get a fruit
classic.
cup. I'm also gonna get a fruit cup on the side.
Nice.
You know,
Nice. What's in that fruit cup?
fruit cup. It's got to have strawberries. Strawberry is my favorite strawberry.
Mhm. Strawberry is your favorite strawberry.
That's right.
Nice.
That's right.
Nice.
I'll go all berries. All berries.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm going all berries on this fruit cup. Strawberries, blueberries, blackberries, raspberries, marionberries.
It's a lot of berries.
What else? Snowberries or golden berries, I think they're called. Some type of, it's like a golden raspberry.
Well, yeah, snowberries are different, I think.
Okay. Golden raspberry.
I feel like I don't really see marionberries like out and about in the fruit
Salmon berry.
Okay. What other berries do you know?
I'm trying to think. I need one more berry. What do we got?
Huckleberries?
Huckle. Good call.
Yeah.
Good call. I said Marion. Black and blue. That's about it. So yeah, I got the berry fruit cup on the side.
Nice.
We should save we should save our deep dive for berries a little bit
Mhm.
later.
There is a berry conversation to have in this podcast.
I think it's an episode.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, yeah, there's an episode of this podcast to have a conversation about berries.
It might even be a title. The berry
Berries?
episode. Yeah,
The berry episode. Yeah, I think so. We have a lot to discuss around berries.
we do.
Which seems confusing, I think, to people that don't know where we're going with this. But you'll know.
Stick around and stay tuned.
Exactly. Stick around and stay tuned for the berry conversation.
All right, dude. What do you think of my pop-up question, my silly question?
I think it's good. I think it was a good
Right.
one.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot.
Yeah. I wouldn't call it like a silly question, but it's like a good.
It's kind of silly.
It's like good to like break in and like kind of like
Okay.
think about like the something you have to do forever. I feel like puts a lot of pressure. There's a
Yeah.
lot of pressure to
Yeah.
to give like the right answer. You know.
Right. I think we gave it a
Yeah.
fair amount of thought.
Oh, good one.
Nice.
Good one. Yeah. Dude, I
Cool,
like your answer
cool.
too. I feel like staying simple is good because then it's like harder to get tired of. You know, like if you go for an extreme flavor, then you're having an extreme kind of intense flavor forever. Whereas if
Yeah.
something is simple, you're not gonna. I mean, you might like want more flavor, but you could add. You know, I feel like adding a sauce here or there is fine. Like add a hot sauce, add if it's on the table, add a little bit of ketchup, something.
Yeah,
you
right.
know.
You can salt and pepper your veggies. Like I was thinking, like I salt and pepper the tomatoes. I could change, that amount.
Mm-hmm,
That salt and pepper things a bit, or maybe mash them together a bit, or
Sure. Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah. Okay, I like it. No, I do like
Yeah.
it. I do like it.
Hell yeah.
Nice, dude.
Hell yeah.
Sick.
Mm.
Sick.
Mm.
Mm-hmm. Well, this has been fun. We talked about some silly stuff today.
Yeah.
Oh man, I feel like our transition to the outro is like the hardest. Is the thing we haven't really figured out how to do just yet. You know?
No, they haven't been bad, but yeah, I know what you
No,
mean.
they haven't been
Yeah.
bad, but there's not like
Yeah.
a consistent. You know?
Right. I was about to just jump into it and just be like, well, this is
I
the
saw
end.
you. I saw you. Yeah, I saw it.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
saw it. I saw it. Oh
We'll see.
man. This is like almost like a no, you hang up. No, you hang up.
Dude.
No, wait, no, you hang up.
It does have the vibe a little bit. It also has the vibe of like not wanting to leave the party or like not wanting to like say goodbye, kind of, where we're like, of course we're having a good time, but there is like some other things we probably want to do. Kind of ready to go.
It's like the conversation you have after you put your coat on.
Absolutely. We are standing around with our coats on here, folks. So thank you guys so much for listening.
Oh man.
We hope you enjoyed this episode and we'll see you in the next one.
Yeah, thanks so much. Stick around and stay tuned.
Bye.
Bye. Sweet.
Okay,
Nice,
I
dude.
think that was good. I
Yeah.
think that was good.